The Oklahoma City Thunder are receiving some high praise from some analytics over at ESPN, and some even stating that they should be one of the more prominent marketed teams in the NBA, along with saying things like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should be the MVP, Jalen Williams should be an all-star, and keep on reminding everyone that they're not even healthy yet. Even some praise to some, role play. I don't want to say role players, as I think that's a very loose term in the NBA. I consider everyone a role player. Everyone has a role to play on a team. But some of our, not necessarily top three guys are getting some love over by Brian Windhorst and everyone else over at ESPN and on his podcast, Hoop Collective. It was kind of nice to hear everything that he had to say praising the Oklahoma City Thunder and his whole crew over there. So I'm going to break down some things that he said, along with going into an in-depth detail, talking about Jalen Williams just a little bit to kind of persuade everyone why he is a bona fide all-star out in the West this year. No doubt about it in my mind. Before we get into that, though, I just want a quick moment to recognize that we finally had our giveaway, and two of you guys have won. Hash and Austin Roberts, you guys have already told me, your shipping address and everything and what sizes you need. But the other two that, won, you guys haven't told me that yet, and that is not RBH. All right, congratulations to you. You won a Loud Town Collective shirt. Then also, Daniel Barry Sports, you also want a shirt. So if you want to get those, to you as soon as possible, the best way to do that is by joining the Discord channel. I have a link to that in the channel, or not channel description. It's in the channel bio, but the video description as well, along with just finding me on any social media outlet out there. Just look up my name and you'll find me there, and you guys can get your shirts through that right there. If you guys don't respond by, Sunday, I'm going to have to pick someone else in your place. So you have a whole week to get that. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead, get started, get into this video talking about what Brian Windhorst and everyone else had to say today on his podcast. And there was quite a bit, all right? There was quite a bit that he had to say, okay? First thing that we're going to take a look at right here, all right? Tim McMahon on Jalen Williams. He is a bona fide co-star for the Thunder. So is Chet. You don't want to put a ceiling on this guy, talking about J-Dub there, and you don't want to put a ceiling on Dub. Not at all. He's a special player. When you look at what he's done, he's a very special player in this league. All right, no doubt about that in my mind. His ceiling is insanely, insanely high. He has an all NBA ceiling. All right, maybe even going as far to say an MVP caliber ceiling of a player he is. I mean, defensively, he's really solid. Offensively, he's already one of the better players in the league. He has every aspect of the offensive game already down to a T. The only thing I guess you could say he could improve on is, I guess, necessarily playmaking, maybe passing if you want to throw that in there. Even then, I think he's a fine passer, fine playmaker. He's doing everything at a great rate right now, and, he's excelling at a lot of aspects of his game. You truly can't put a ceiling on him because he's such a versatile player when you look at it. Like, he just is. He can do whatever you want on the court. He can play the center position. We saw that for 6 games. He can play a small ball center. He can shoot the 3 ball. He can compete down low. He can jump. He can defend. He can pass. He can rebound. He can do everything. And so you don't want to put a ceiling on him. The next thing that I saw that was interesting, all right, and this is just a lot of stuff from this podcast that they were talking about for everyone, all right? Tim Bontemps on Jalen Williams. He's deserving of making it, but when you go through the list of all-star players in the Western Conference, you get to 12 really fast. It's really hard. That's not a knock on him. He's having a great year. So Tim Bontemps over there is kind of saying that, yeah, he's having an all-star season, but it's kind of hard for him to make it to an all-star game, which I see the point. But I feel like people are including just these guys that shouldn't even be all-star starters. I mean, you have guys like, let's go ahead and, name off a few. Alperen Sengun is someone that people are considering an all-star player this year. No doubt about it in their mind. When Jalen Williams is having a better year than Alperen Sengun. He truly is. He's having a better year than a lot of these Western Conference players out here that, people are kind of saying, like, yeah, they should, be an all-star, for sure. And some even saying all-star starters. In my opinion, he's having a better year than LeBron right now. LeBron's been injured for a little bit now. He finally came back, had a decent game in his first night back. But even then, I feel like Jalen Williams, he's playing more efficiently. He's playing better defense as well. And he might even be a better scorer than LeBron at this point in his career. And that's no knock on LeBron. I think he's the greatest of all time. But just when you look at it right now at the moment, who is the better player this season? Who's been playing better? LeBron or Jalen Williams? I consider Jalen Williams to be playing better than LeBron this year. I'll go ahead and say it. That's a bold claim, but I will stick by it. And just, it's looking at the stats, all right? When you look at the stats, this is what I mean, all right? 22 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. He's averaging 2 steals a game, almost a block a game as well, less than 3 fouls. He's shooting 50% from the field and 38% from 3. He is an absolute weapon. He is a threat everywhere on the court, but yet people aren't recognizing that enough. It's nice to see Windhorst and his crew finally recognizing that, but it's one of those things where I feel like I don't want to be like the casual fan, but truly, you know, the casual person that only watches their team doesn't realize how good Jalen Williams actually is. Jalen Williams is playing like a top 10 player in the Western Conference right now. No doubt about that at all. And the fan vote is going to do him dirty, and he better get it on the coaches vote then, because just frankly, it's a popularity contest for the All-Star game. I'm more worried about him making an All-NBA team, which I think he can, but it's a popularity contest in the, you know, for an All-Star appearance, and I just think even then he should make it. All right, when you look at the stats, he should be an All-Star. Let's go into the next thing then. All right, Tim McMahon, he's talking about Lu Dort a little bit here. All right, Lu Dort becoming a 40+% three-point shooter over these last couple years is absolutely terrifying. He might be the best 3-and-D guy. The fact that the guy hasn't made an all-defensive team is asinine, absolutely asinine. And look at that, more high praise for some guys that don't get, you know, any media attention whatsoever. People considering Lu Dort a dirty player. First off, I don't think you've ever seen how competitive basketball is supposed to look like. You're watching these, you know, other players that play slow, you know, more unathletic style of play, just lean back, not playing physical defense. Lu Dort plays physical and aggressive. That's not a knock on him at all. All right, he just plays physical and aggressive. He's not going out there trying to injure people. And he is the best 3-and-D guy out there, all right? He is, truly is. And he should make an all-defensive team. He definitely should when you look at what he's been doing this year. 40+% three-point shooter over these last couple of years. That's insane. I didn't even realize that. I knew he was a good 3-and-D guy, but I didn't realize 40% over these last few years. Absolutely crazy. And it's nice to see Tim McMahon say that he is the best 3-and-D guy out there at the moment. All right? Just a few more things that we're going to cover here, okay? And then we'll get into it, get rolling a little bit here. Right here, boom. Talk about Shai a little bit, okay? Just quick, you know, thing on Shai. Tim McMahon also said right now where the Nuggets are in the standings, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should absolutely be the MVP favorite going into this kind of empty stats thing with Nikola Jokic. They are empty stats. Your team is 8th in the Western Conference right now. Okay, you're supposed to be a contender this year, and you guys are playing like a play-in team that's just trying to not even make it to the lottery. That's what's going on right now. Shai is the MVP favorite, no doubt about that. He's getting better. He got better on defense, okay, and somehow his efficiency got even better as well. He is one of the best two-way players in the league at the moment, all right? And he's one of the best, if not the best player in the league. He's the best player in the world. Let's go ahead and say that right now. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the best player in the world, and it's nice to see people over at ESPN finally realizing that as well. And it's nice to see him also recognizing this right here, all right? This is a team over the next 5 years is going to win a lot of playoff series. They're going to play deep into May, likely into June in some occasions. You better figure out how to make this a marketable franchise. And what you do is you focus on the fact that they have the best player in the world, a unicorn at center that hasn't even played yet, and such a creative player at the 3 spot in Jalen Williams that you could just kind of market him right there because he's such a personality. This team is young. They have personalities. They can connect with people my age. All right? To connect with the new NBA fans. That's what you need to do with them. Promote them like that, but yet the NBA isn't because they don't even recognize and want to, recognize that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an MVP. Jalen Williams is an all-star and potentially even an all-NBA player. Chet Holmgren would have been an all-star and all-NBA player this year if he never got injured. And we have a bunch of good players surrounding him as well, like Isaiah Hartenstein, Cason Wallace, Lu Dort, a bunch of these guys that we didn't even get into, Alex Caruso. The league is finally recognizing, and analytics all over the world, even some fans are as well, that the Oklahoma City Thunder are legit. They're the best team in the world at the moment. And the league better just find out some way to market them because the lack of attention they've been getting up to this point has been absurd. All right? That's all I got for this video. Let me know you guys' personal comments and thoughts were on all those things said on the Hoop Collective podcast. And like I said, Daniel Barry Sports and not RBH. Please find me on any of my social media links or in the Discord channel so I can get you guys your Loud Town Collective shirts. That's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.